If you think being vegan is boring, try my incredible falafel recipe that takes inexpensive pantry staples like chickpeas and turns them into a crispy, protein-packed meal that'll satisfy any craving. I'm Dr. Aman, a physician who developed food allergies in adulthood, and I like to create recipes that everyone can enjoy. Falafels have been eaten for centuries and are especially popular in the Middle East. I remember seeking them out for a late night snack anytime I had a rare night off from residency in New York. Our falafels start with a cup of dried chickpeas or garbanzo beans, which I'm going to add to this large bowl. Chickpeas are especially satisfying because they're a great source of protein, but they're not a complete protein, meaning they don't contain all 9 amino acids that our body needs because we can't make it ourselves. For chickpeas, that's methionine. But you can make this a complete protein meal by pairing it with something like nuts and seeds, including cashews and sunflower seeds, or a grain like rice or quinoa. And the best part is, they're really filling because they're also a good source of fiber. These chickpeas need to soak and hydrate. We have to add between 3 and 4 cups of water, which is why I've used a large bowl. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that in. There is one other ingredient that is commonly used, and that's baking soda, which helps to soften the chickpeas a little bit as they're hydrating. This is optional though. I use a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm gonna add that in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside for overnight. And now we're ready for the fun part, getting everything mixed up in the food processor. So I have here my chickpeas or garbanzo beans that soaked overnight. I drained them, just lightly rinsed them. And what I'm going to do is take 1/3 cup of these soaked chickpeas and add them to the food processor. What we're going to do is create a smooth paste and then add the rest of them to add more texture. To this, we're gonna add half of an onion. I have here a sweet onion, which I tend to prefer, but you can really use any onion of your choice. And I'm just gonna cut that a little rough. We're gonna blend it all up anyway, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Next, I have cilantro. If you're weighing it out, that's about 50 grams. And I'm just gonna rough chop it and add it all. Now, the best part about cooking for everyone is that it's okay to have different tastes. I don't think there's really a such thing as a picky eater. We're just individuals. So if you don't like cilantro or you don't wanna use it, you can substitute parsley. But I'd suggest adding a little bit of lemon juice for that citrus, and you might need to balance out the salt because lemon juice tends to make things taste a little less salty. I have 3 garlic cloves. So given the onion and the garlic, this is not so much a low FODMAP recipe. Then I have 1 green chili. If you're worried about this spice, you can certainly seed it and just use the skin, or if you're really worried, you can leave it out completely. And now I'm gonna add some seasonings. I have here half a teaspoon of chipotle powder, which I happen to think is a really versatile spice that has a little bit of heat. And I'm using it in place of cumin. Some people don't like cumin, or you can't access it so easily. So this is a great thing to keep in your pantry. It's useful in Mexican food, and it can be a substitute for smoked paprika as well. If you don't have this or you prefer cumin, go ahead and add half the amount. So a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin to this half teaspoon of chipotle powder. Next, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/16 teaspoon of white pepper. You know, I just prefer white pepper, but you can use black pepper, just roughly double the amount. And now we're gonna get this blended up to a smooth paste. You may need to scrape it down in between. Now that is nice and smooth, just as we want it. I'm gonna scrape down the sides and then add in the rest of our soaked garbanzo beans. Now here's where you wanna be really careful. We want this to have a coarse texture, like coarse sand, so I'm going to pulse it carefully, maybe 4 to 5 pulses, scraping down in between to make sure I don't get it too smooth and that the pieces aren't too big. Now if you see here, we're almost there. They're broken down into large chunks, but we still don't want them this big. To the rest of these chickpeas, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. These are going to give the chickpeas a nice lift. This is perfect. You can still see some small pieces in there. They're not huge, but overall it's smooth and a little bit the consistency of like a rough sand. We want this to rest for about 15 minutes to let the baking powder and baking soda activate and let it get a little lift in there. What I like to do is go ahead and shape these into balls and then put them into the fridge for about 15 minutes. If you feel like you want to make one, taste test it, adjust your seasonings, you can just put this whole thing in the fridge and then shape and fry as you go. Now I'm just gonna shape these into about 1-inch rounds. I'm using a spoon. If you have a scoop measure, then by all means. We don't want these to be too tightly packed because we want them to have a nice little lift and airiness. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of this and we'll fry 1 plate at a time. I'm going to put this in the fridge for 15 minutes. I've taken the falafels out of the fridge and now I've heated my oil to about 320 degrees. I do use a thermometer. I think it's something really useful to have in the kitchen. Right now we're at the right temperature, and keep in mind, because once we put this in, the oil will cool down. You can use the thermometer to kind of adjust the heat as needed. Now I'm gonna start by putting a few in. Remember to try to be careful, put it close to the oil and away from you to avoid splashing. Now I'm just gonna set the timer for 4 minutes. These are crisping up just beautifully, and you can see how they almost double in volume while they're cooking. It's been 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and gently take them out of the oil. I have a rack here, but you could just remove it to any paper-lined plate or tray. These just look so perfectly crispy, golden brown, and delicious. And here we have our beautiful plate of falafels. What I did, especially for those who might need to avoid sesame seeds and therefore tahini, is I took 1 tablespoon of my pumpkin seed butter and mixed it in 4 tablespoons of yogurt. You could use any nut butter you want, but this creates a nice sauce to go with the falafel. I'm gonna try this and open it up. Look at that, just perfect. Crispy on the outside, beautifully light and airy on the inside. Can't wait to take a bite. So good. Perfect balance of seasoning, crunchy, soft, everything that would satisfy any craving. It's so incredible to be able to share foods from other cultures with people that you care about, because there is room for everyone at the table. I really hope you enjoy these falafels as much as I do. Let us know how you enjoyed them or if you did something different in the comments below. Thank you, and I look forward to having you join me next time. Falafels, take 3, because I forgot my mic. Falafels have been eaten in the middle. Let me take it back. Falafels have been eaten for centuries and are especially popular. I already did that part, didn't I? Surprise! Falafel, take 9.